Okay guys, here is the differential skid. I have it all assembled here on this table so that you can kind of get an idea how it goes together before we do the installation. The axle tubes are going to go through here. This is going to go around the third member right behind the drive shaft yoke, and that is going to hold the front of the skid. So as you can see, it's a pretty easy, goes together pretty easy. The tools you need here, you're going to need a 7/32 Allen for these 4 Allen bolts here, a 3/4 inch socket, 3/4 inch wrench, setup some sort, and super easy. So let's get this installed. Okay, so before I install this diff skid, I want to talk to you about why you should consider installing a diff skid on your Toyota Tundra. So a couple of things that go on here. You have this drain plug hanging down. This is factory Toyota drain plug. It has kind of a collar that's going around the nut that you do to drain this thing. After a lot of hard hits, you're actually going to smash this over to the point where you're not going to be able to get your drain plug out anymore. Then you have to use like a file and a chisel and try to work it out. So you want to kind of get to that before you smash that up. Secondly, you can see here we have all these studs that hold this third member in. If you get a lot of hard impacts right here on this third member, it'll actually stretch these bolts and cause a differential leak. The other thing that can happen is you can actually break these studs off, and then you have a whole mess of problems. So hard impacts up on this thing cause a lot of leverage. It's something that Toyota has had to deal with for 30-something years that they've used an axle similar to this. So this is a quick, easy insurance to make sure that none of that happens. So let's get that installed. Okay, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take this bottom half of this collar guard. It's gonna set right here on the skid. I've got 2 3/8 bolts and nuts, and they are just gonna come through here. These holes are slotted. Doesn't really matter where, they just need to be in loose for now. Okay, so we got that on there. We're just gonna jack this thing up into place. Okay, so jacking this thing up into place here, you're just gonna kind of fish this around, whoop, around there, like that. And then it's going to slide back right here on that little channel. And then you're going to next jack the rest of the skid, moving it back and forth so that it fits until these things come up to the axle tube like that. So you can see I still have this collar loose. Let me check the clearance all the way around it. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and put these axle straps on. So it's a top strap. It's going to come over the housing like this. You're going to feed it around and through these brake lines like that. 1/2 inch bolt, washer, and then the lock nut. Okay, lock nut's going to go on the top. Beep, I forgot a secondary washer for that top. So we're going to go ahead and start these. And there are 4 of these on both sides, 2 and 2. So go ahead and get those started. Okay, so now we have the straps on the tubes. We want to sit this guy into place here. Now you can move this skid back and forth a little bit, and you can move this back and forth. You want to make sure that these studs aren't going to run into the third member here. So you're just going to kind of make sure you have clearance. If you need to, you can shift it over a little bit to make sure that it doesn't come into contact with anything. 7/32 Allen. You're going to go ahead and just snug these up a little bit. Okay. 2 more 3/8 bolts, nuts, and then this is the top collar that wraps around the pinion yoke here. So it goes like that. 3/8 bolt through one side. That way. Nuts are going to go facing towards the back of the differential. Okay, so we have everything kind of in place. This thing I'm going to try to move back a little bit, so I'm going to loosen this up now that I have the full collar on it, and I'm going to shimmy it back a little bit. like so. You'll see here we have maybe about a finger's width, here about a 1/2 inch. It may be a little different on yours, but it's mostly going to be pretty close to that. So go ahead and tighten these up here. Okay. Next, we're going to tighten up the yoke on here. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to tighten up the straps onto the axle tubes. 3/4 inch wrench, 3/4 inch socket. You can use an impact, you can use a wrench. The key, or the ratchet, the key is to just evenly go across and tighten these things evenly, so you're not cranking down one side. They need to stay even. There will be a gap. They're not going to close up completely. All right, now we're going to move on to the other side. Okay guys, so that wraps up the installation on this Diff Skid for the Toyota Tundra. As you can see here, now we have a smooth surface that allows rocks, stumps, whatever it is you come across to slide off, not get hung up, not do any damage to your third member. Now you will notice any hard impacts here are now going to distribute the load across the axle housing as well as the third member, so it kind of works together to share the load across any hard impacts. We have a drain hole access here so you can get to your drain plug to do diff change. We have 2 drain holes here, so if we want to wash it out full of crap, it's going to come out. So anyways, that's the skid. You can use it to jack on it, hammer on it, enjoy it, love it, list it. I don't have any other analogies from any weird TV shows, so I just recommend you buy it. Hope to see you on the trail.